Good evening and welcome to 90 Minutes Live in association with the Easy Shelf. We're in Hertford tonight. We're at the Smile ID Stadium for full coverage of Hertford Town against Hadley in Southern League Division 1 Central. I'm Peter Hill. I'll be bringing you full live match commentary. I'll be joined by our normal match summariser, Simon Alamandi, in about 15 minutes' time. Teams are out on the pitch. Big game for both teams, of course. Hertford with a win, depending on what happens elsewhere, could find themselves in the playoff positions. Hadley, well, they haven't got a point all season. Played 4, won 0, drawn 0, lost 4. So a big day for them as well. Both teams went out of the FA Trophy in Saturday's action. Hertford, of course, in that game at Felixstowe and Walton United, which got Ben Hurd extremely annoyed about the quality of the officials. And Hadley, well, they went down 2-1 in a game against Biggleswade. So for both of them, the bread and butter tonight of the league. Let's take you through the two team lineups. Interesting news for Hertford. They made 5 changes from Saturday's side. Luke Hewitt is the goalkeeper, and he will captain the side. And we'll then have Ryan Burnell, Horik Sanasi, Joe Bennett, Harry Gazil, Ben Hurd, Sonny Coughlin-Brown, Urgis Pevchaj, and then, surprisingly, coming in at 9, Kolade Solodine for his first appearance in a Hertford shirt, former Ipswich junior. Brian Garzon and Wilson Burnell make up the starting 11 for Ben Hurd's team. On the bench for them tonight, Connor Clark, Mo Diaby, Kuranashi Mushani, Dibar Cordozo and Sudayazi Sendej. As far as Hadley are concerned, 3 changes from them from the side that played at the weekend. They've got Charlie Taylor in goal, Bradley Marriott, Joseph Jevjic, Sean Lember, Alvin Korame, Cameron Ferguson, Zach Uribari, Billy Hayes, Isaac Stones, Finley Aldridge and Luke Alfano. On the bench for the Bricks tonight, Luke Ward, the goalkeeper, Hersey Townsend, Josh Banfield, Billy Baird and Jordan Edwards. We are just about to get underway here with our referee for the night, who is Lee Markwick. Comes from just over the border in Essex. Sparse crowd gathering, but I'm sure they'll get behind this young Hertford team as we prepare to get things underway. Hertford in familiar blue shirts, white sleeves, blue shorts, kicking from left to right. Referee checks at his watches, checks with both his assistants, and away we go. Plenty of action in Southern League Division 1 Central, of course. Keep you abreast with all of that, particularly where we're away at Bedford and Welling Garden City at home, of course, to AFC Dunstable. An interest in those 2 games. Quick bit of action on this near side for Harry Gilzine. Puts it back for skipper for the night, Luke Hewitt. Header comes forward, but controlled, and Hadley will have it with Kerame, who was on the books here once, didn't play a game, but was once a Hertford Town player. Ball deep in the Hertford half, threaded over onto this near side for Ryan Burnell. Burnell puts it back for Gilzine, across the box for Ben Hurd. No real change in formation for Hertford, despite those 5 changes in the starting lineup. And it's Hadley that are coming forward here, pricingly on the edge of the area, and now inside the area. The shot comes in, and it was a shot from Zach Uribari, and he should have done better. Hertford let him go on the right hand side of the box, snatched at his shot, and it went wide of the target. So early action involving the visitors, the Bricks, as they are known, of course. Only their second year in step 4 of the pyramid. Struggling somewhat beginning of this one. Ironically, the best performance of the season's been against the 90 Minutes Live side when they're not wearing the FA Trophy by 4 goals to 1. Back to deep inside the Hertford half with Luke Hewitt. Here's Ben Hurd. Hurd's ball forward as they loose one, but equally loose from Bradley Marriott. Hertford will get the ball back and back into their own half. Joe Bennett, experienced campaigner, of course, signed here. No Charlie Payne tonight, but no lack of experience with Joe Bennett in the lineup. Here he is again. Plays the ball forward for Cochran Brown. Neat football from Hertford, as we've come to expect here at the Smile IT, but Cochran Brown does well. Turns away from Arabari, but then gives the ball away, and Hadley will come back in the opposite direction on that right-hand side of the field. As he trying to get there and does, and Hadley will win the first corner of the evening, which will be taken on that far side of the field. Hertford need to make the most of home advantage here tonight. Because we're on a run of away games in October. We shall take them all the way up to Saturday the 21st. Last action will be the next action here. Team United are going to be the visitors, but in the way, we've got to go to some tricky places. Kings Langley and Cirencester amongst them. Corner's going to come in from that far side of the field. Chipped, goes to the far post, up goes Mewett, collects it very comfortably indeed, and will bowl it out on this near side to Ryan Burnell. Burnell does well to avoid the challenge that came in from Aldridge. Here's Burnell again, plays it centre field to Brian Garzon, who wears 10. And a Southend player, of course, who's got dual nationality with Ecuador and already scored a couple of goals. Got 2 bounties on Saturday. Joe Bennett from midway inside his own half, down the line for Cochran Brown. Bennett gets it back, tries to send Burnell in on the right-hand side of the box. Hadley will sort that out, but he'll sort it out at the expense of a throw-in. And will be taken by Ryan Barnell. Barnell again searches out Pepage, who finds Bennett. Bennett's ball onto the centre circle for Ben Hurd on that far side. Assey plays the ball down the line, looks to get the 1-2, but Garzon will take it on. Saladin gives the ball away, and Hadley punts it towards the halfway line, where Bennett and Gilzine are. They make a hash of it between them, and Hadley will come back on this side with Finley Aldridge. Aldridge is in the box here. Ryan Burnell shows him well onto his favoured left foot, and finally gives the corner away. Hertford good on the break after they carelessly gave the ball away. And there will be a corner which will be taken on this near side by Cameron Ferguson. Over 100 games he's played for Hadley. Good servant to the club. Hertfordshire, North London, take your pick. As he's going to take the corner here. Hertford have got everyone bar one back. Saladin, who's round about the centre circle. Corner's going to come across from the near side. Here goes to the far post. Up in the header goes Saladin. And the ball will break on that far side. Hadley trying to let it go out for another corner, but they've got themselves a throw-in. Hemmed in right down by that side of the corner flag. 5 minutes gone here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf, bringing you Step 4 football as we do throughout the season. Ball's going to be threaded, well, I wouldn't say threaded, punted into the Hertford box, goes straight out of play from Billy Hayes. Hertford will have a goal kick, 10th in the table so far. Home record's been not too brilliant. 1-1, lost 2 and drawn 1. One of those, of course, was the East Herts derby against Ware. But the victory, of course, a good one against Grays in the FA Trophy. Hope to rediscover some of that kind of form. Here's Wilson Burnell, the first time we've seen him down that left-hand side. Burnell still in possession, puts the ball out for Assey. Burnell gets it back, he's on the edge of the box. And in the end, it was good defending by the number 7, Ribari, and it's Hertford who get a corner. Been a good, enterprising start to this one by both sides. Corner's going to be taken on the far side. Joe Bennett is waving Gilzine forward. Ryan Burnell is going to go into the box. Garzon is in there as well, along with Pepach. So corner to be taken on that far side of the field. Plenty of jostling going on inside the penalty area. Corner comes across to the near post, headed out fairly comfortably in the end by Jevjic. And a thumping challenge goes in on Wilson Burnell. That sends the ball deep inside the Hertford half to the feet of Ben Hurd. Ben looks up, doesn't have much on. Takes the ball forward though, does have something on now. So he plays it forward to Burnell, but Burnell's beaten by weight of numbers as Hadley come in the opposite direction with a lively Arabari. Turned out by Babaj. Still on the edge of that area. Joe Bennett puts it over his head though, and here's Garzon. Garzon turns well. Good feet from the number 10. Brings in Wilson Burnell. He's going to go one further. There's only Coughlin Brown down this right hand side. Burnell had continued the overlap. Burnell puts the brakes on. Tries to find Coughlin Brown with the back heel. All a little bit too clever. Could have been Hertford in trouble here. But Aldridge in the end puts the ball back on to the centre circle. A good challenge coming in from Babaj. Wins the ball back for Hertford. He'll get it back inside the centre circle. Far side is Wilson Burnell. Garzon making his way into the area. Burnell still in possession. His Pepage might fancy a chance. He does. And just wide of the target. Goalkeeper Charlie Taylor had to make sure. Good move from Hertford. Urges Pepage with the shot. Goalkeeper scurrying to his right hand side, but it went wide of the target. 8 minutes gone. Hertford 0, Hadley 0. Plenty of other games in this division, of course. We're at Bedford. Already said that one, and Welling Garden City at O2 AFC Dunstable. And as well as those, Kings Langley against Biggleswade Town, Leighton Town against Cirencester, Stockfold against Waltham Abbey, and Kempston against Kidlington, amongst others. That'll be of interest to Hadley. Kempston struggling just as much at the foot of the table. Here's Burnell again, going on the overlap. Coming across is Aldridge to put the ball out for a throw-in to Hertford Town. Ryan Burnell will take the throw-in. Coughlin Brown and Garzon are both in the box, along with Saladin. Going to be Burnell who's going to put it to the edge of that box. Here is Saladin, controls it nicely on his chest, brings in Pepage, finds Joe Bennett. Bennett down the line once again to Burnell. Burnell's cross is blocked and will go out on this near side for a throw-in. Block being put in by Finlay Aldridge, former Baldock Town player. Throw-in to be taken, well, where referee Mr. Mark Wick wants it to be, so Burnell's got to go back just a couple of yards. Ryan Burnell with the throw-in. Here's Pepage. Pepage back into his own half for Ben Hurd. Fades the challenge of Ferguson. Ben Hurd gets it again. Forward. This time perhaps a chance to run forward for Burnell. Shows those quick feet as the number 11, but in the end almost beats himself. And Hadley will get the ball back on the edge of their own area, and it is thumped clear. Harry Gilzine underneath it, clears well. But, it's going to be picked on by Joe Bennett. Tries to send Coughlin Brown going down this near side. And Kaya Mate takes no prisoners, thumps it out on top of the stand, which I'm sitting in. And it goes out for a throw-in. Commentary position at the Smile IT, by the way. If you haven't heard us before here, slap bang on the centre line. Interest in the breast seats. Colin A, the Hertford chairman, apologised to me before the games. They've actually taken the legs off the breast seats. So I'll be sitting there like Toulouse-Lautrec if I was in the breast seats tonight. Sure that will get put right the next time we're here. It's Garzon. Ben Hurd's in a bit of space here. Midway inside the Hadley half, chips it out to Burnell on that far side. Assie's making the overlap. Assie puts it across the box, decent looking grass, but in the end, once again, it's Kyle Remick who manages to get it away. Far side, half of a free kick. Ben Hurd hits the deck. And player manager Just a bit slow to get up. Saw him after the starts Derby. He was decrying the fact. He said, "I'm taking longer and longer because I'm getting old." Well, if he's getting old, I don't know what that makes me. But Ben's going to get up on that far side and will take the free kick. It's right down by the touchline, right in front of the Hadley dugout, where their manager Anthony Clark and Danny Plum, his assistant, are. So Ben looking to chip it to the edge of the area. Soldaldine can't get hold of it, and Hadley will clear. Long ball forward onto the chest of Burnell, inside his own half, and he turns it all the way back to Luke Mewett, all in orange this evening. There's the Hertford town skipper, as Harry Gilzine finds Ben Hurd. Hertford have had plenty of the ball, but you expect that here. They always have plenty of the ball, so whether they can pose a threat at the other end is the thing they've been lacking at times. Although this season, a few goals have gone in the back of the net. But Mewett's got it on the edge of his 18-yard box, finds Harry Gilzine. Cochran Brown's made a good run down this right-hand side, but nobody's seen him. And so Gilzine again will turn it back to Luke Mewett. Mewett with the left boot, far side. Ben Hurd at the left-hand side of the box. Plays the ball forward, but Garzon puts it back to Gilzine on the edge of the area. Gilzine now looks to come forward. Once again, though, Hadley are marking in numbers, and Hertford finding it difficult at the moment to get anything going out of their own half. Gilzine once again, almost at walking pace here. He'll put his foot on the ball and turn it all the way back to Mewett. Hadley decide to put a bit of a press on with Billy Hayes, and in the end it's punted towards the halfway line. One bounce, it will land with Bradley Marriott, who puts it all the way back to his goalkeeper Charlie Taylor. Taylor's long kick forward, certainly a mixture of styles here. Hadley far more route one, as another one goes into the Hertford half. Cochran Brown finds Gilzine. Gilzine, the Sonny Cochran Brown, one of those youth prospects, so bright for Hertford. Done well in the FA Youth Cup, of course, but other tie to come in that. Sonny Cochran Brown's got a couple of goals in that already. No Billy Mardell Smith tonight, which will be a loss for Hertford. And here, turning the left-hand side is Isaac Stones. Stones, though, beaten to it easily by Burnell. And Burnell puts it all the way back to Gilzine. Gilzine to Ben Hurd. Assey on that far side. Turns the ball back once again to Ben Hurd on the edge of the area. Garzon once again coming deep on number 10. Assey will find him. He controls the ball well off his chest, but it's a difficult one for him. Pepage heads it towards Wilson Burnell, but all breaks down on a thumping ball on this near side by Billy Hayes. Looks for Isaac Stones. Stones is wrestling away with Burnell, who's far too strong for him. Gilzine's long ball forward is a good one. It's controlled well by Wilson Burnell. Burnell's got Cochran Brown on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, he's got Garzon. Garzon coming forward, left-hand side. Chance here for Hertford. Wilson Burnell goes in, goes down. The referee says nothing doing. Well, you can hear what the crowd thought. Difficult to tell from here, but it was certainly worth a shout. Burnell went down, looked to be contact, but our referee, Mr. Lee Markwick, decided there was nothing doing. So we still stand at 0-0, 16 gone here. The Smile IT between Hertford and Hadley. Ball back inside the Hertford penalty area with Luke Mewett. Mewett back for Harry Gilzine. Gilzine for Ryan Burnell. Burnell and Gilzine again, a little bit of keep ball. Once again, I'm not the only one that wishes someone had pressed the fast forward button at this point. I've been guilty of this. And slow patient build-up is one thing, but taking an age to get out of your own half is another when they have skillful players up front. Burnell, Cochran Brown particularly It's Saladin, who's in on the halfway line. The ball will break on this near side though. Aldridge is beaten to it by Ryan Burnell, who's having a solid game already at right back. Ball comes on this near side. Ball pushed back inside his own half by Ferguson. Ferguson ball and Bradley Marriott. Minus two, but plays centre half. Long ball forward looking for Aldridge. Gilzean was there, and this time it's the Hadley fans behind the goal who are screaming. They feel that Gilzean might have handled that. But once again, the referee not interested. Mr. Mark Wick is having a bit of a debate. 3 Hadley players round him, but it's not going to change his mind. It's going to be a corner though. Should be taken on this near side of the field by Cameron Ferguson once again. Hertford again, they've got Wilson Burnell forward. Everybody else in or around that 18-yard area. 2 arms up in the air for Ferguson. His teammates will know what that means, and Luke Mewett doesn't want to know because he just punches it out on that far side. Gotland Brown's beaten to it. Cross comes over, and that was a decent chance for Kaya Remy. And in the end, he got no contact really on it at all. It was Sean Lemper's cross from that far side. So neither goalkeepers had a save to make. We've had a decent penalty share at one end, and we had a shot from Wilson Burnell which has just skimmed past the post. That's the size of the action after 18 minutes here at the Smile at IT. Bradley Harriott over his head, but Joe Bennett will collect it for Hertford forward, but Saladin was rather caught in his heels. And Charlie Taylor, former Harlow and Cheshunt goalkeeper, will sky it. Hertford will get it back midway inside the Hadley half with Gotland Brown. There's Joe Bennett, far side of the field, picks out Burnell. He's looked dangerous, Wilson Burnell. More tricks than Bill Daniels on that far side, but in the end he just pulls it back into the circle for Joe Bennett. Bennett for Ryan Burnell. Finds Garzon, finding a bit of space as Brian Garzon. That kind of area between the back four and the central midfield. Here's Wilson Burnell. Burnell's shot! Oh, what a goal! What a goal from Wilson Burnell. He saw Charlie Taylor was off his line. I thought, I'll have a go at that. And didn't he do just that? Hertford take the lead here. And well, we saw one by James Kolowski for Welling Garden City a couple of weeks ago, and that was every bit as good. Wilson Burnell from 40 yards out, perhaps even more, over the top of Charlie Taylor, and Hertford lead here by a goal to nil after 20 minutes. Well, that certainly livened the crowd up. I said after James Kolowski, didn't I? You won't see a better one. Wilson Burnell's put the jury out there. It's what Hertford deserved, I think. They have been a better side. But Hadley will have to come back here, but he's given the ball away as Burnell. He fancies it now, but he's ball forward to Saladin. It's a poor one, and Charlie Taylor will collect it and bowl it out on that far side. Well, having not been well at the weekend and missing all those goals go in, 9 at Felixstowe, 8 at Ware, I was a little bit fearful this might turn into a 0-0, so thanks Wilson Burnell for that. It's not going to. Hertford are in front here, and as it stands could be heading for a place in the playoffs. On far side is Arid Barry, who trips on the ball. The ball goes back to Ferguson on the halfway line. It's pushed forward on this near side, the overlap by number 3, Jev Jig. Aldridge's back heel only meets Ryan Burnell. Might be a little word in the Burnell household about that goal, mightn't they? Yeah, I know, Big Bruv, I know. It was throw-in taken, Gilzean wins it. Pepash forward. Saladin, who hasn't really got into the game yet, his Hertford debut. Does well there though. Pulls the ball back to Harry Gilzean. Gilzean picks up a bit of pace, finds Ben Hurd. He's got a feeling Hertford have got a little boost of confidence from that goal, and why not? ball forward onto the halfway line. He's the man that gave it to them, Wilson Burnell. He goes down, but Solidine will still collect the ball and show good strength to number 9. Tried to bring in Pepage, but in the end it goes all the way back inside the Hertford half. Penhurst square for Gilzine. Gilzine's leaves Newitt. A little bit of work to do at the hurry up. And Luke decides to put it out of the ground on that far side. Safety first will do. And so far so good will do for Hertford down halfway through the first half here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Hertford 1, Hadley 0, Wilson Burnell. And there won't be many better goals scored tonight, whatever level of football you're watching at. It's far side of the field, Hadley in possession, but Assey does well to sort that out. In the end, though, he runs the ball out of play, and Hadley will have a throw in. Conceded 9 on their travel so far. Add Wilson Burnell's to that, and it's double figures already. They're in possession here, though. Stones looking to put the ball back. Plays it on this near side. Harry Barry has drifted from right to left, but just finds Sonny Cogler-Brown in the way. Hertford could be in here. Cogler-Brown making good inroads. He's got Ryan Burnell on the right. That's who he finds. Midway inside Hadley half. Went for the little give and go, but it's an outstretched leg of Jevjic. Put it out for the throw-in. Taken quickly. Joe Bennett to Ryan Burnell. Back to Harry Gazine. Forwards is the yell, but Gilzine turns backwards, puts the ball inside the centre, inside the penalty area for Luke Mewin. Gilzine forward for Brian Garzon. Garzon, the midway inside his own half, flips it forward, gets it back off Burnell, and then sends Saladin on a run. It's cleared by Bradley Marriott out on that far side of the field. Hadley have got AFC Dunstable at home on Saturday, and then Waltham Abbey away following Saturday in their next two engagements. In the bottom of the table, I mean, they've only got a point between them and Kempston, but Welwyn Garden City in 16th, already 4 points in front. Hopefully they'll pick something up against AFC Dunstable tonight. Mark Weatherston's made a few changes, brought in 3 new players. Said to us last time we spoke to him it was all about recruitment. Well, he's done his recruitment. It'll be up to the players to prove him right in his choice. He put in a good performance on Saturday, 1-1 against Cirencester, who are difficult opponents, as Hertford will find out in a couple of weeks' time when they're going to have to go there. Saturday week. And a trip to Barton Rovers on a Tuesday as the ball bounces off of Harry Gilzine, but there's a flag up far side which will give Hertford a free kick. Our next action here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf is going to be on Saturday, and we're going to be at the Plexworth Stadium at Welwyn Garden City and run the Royal for the first time over tonight's Southern League Division 1 Central leaders Bedford, who are the visitors there, taking Ware tonight. Hopefully keep you in touch with what's going on there. Paul Halsey will fancy fewer goals than he's seen go in the Ware net of late. Certainly been scoring a few, that hasn't been a problem, but defensively it has been. Hertford with a throw midway inside the Hadley half, which will be taken by Ryan Burnell. It turns and the shot comes in from Urgis Pepage. Oh, what were Hadley doing? Left him completely at home inside the 18-yard box, and Pepage with the right boot curls it past the goalkeeper Charlie Taylor to double Hertford's advantage with 26 minutes gone, and it's turning into a good night for Hertford and a good night for us, because we herald the arrival of Simon Alamandi, who's just come in just at the right time to see that second goal go in. Not as spectacular as the first, it must be said, but certainly they all count, and Urgis Pepage will be very happy to have scored his first goal of the season. Double the Hertford's advantage. They lead 2-0, and Simon, well, You've missed one of the goals of the season from Wilson Burnell, that one from Urgis Pepage, and all looking very nice at the moment.
Excellent. I mean, I guess, Pete, good evening to you, by the way. Apologies for being late. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a perfect response that Ben wanted after Saturday. I saw the lineups. I was listening to you earlier, so I know how many changes he's made, and a couple of them I wasn't too surprised about. But yeah, absolutely perfect response from what happened.
Well, it certainly has been against the side we know who are struggling even more now. Hadley 2-0 down, and Hertford will want to build on this. As I was saying, it's all away from home in the next few weeks, so they want a bit of confidence. And certainly there's no reason why they shouldn't have it at the moment. As he coming forward, Burnell's on his bike down that left-hand side. Marriott's looking at his goalkeeper to come, and he didn't in the end. And once more, indecision on that Hadley back line, giving them problems. Certainly with that goal from Pepage, they just all left him alone. And there were accusing glances, should I say, which really demonstrated the fact that Hadley just left him alone inside the box. So Hertford lead here by 2-0. Could be a big day or big night for our 90 Minutes live teams, of course, with Ware and Welwyn Garden City in action. Everybody almost in action in Division 1 Central. It'll be interesting to work out at the end of this one. If Hertford hold on, get themselves 3 points, quite where they'll be in the table could be interesting. As Saluddin plays the ball back to Harry Gilzine on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's Pepage on the second goal. Finds Ryan Burnell. Been impressed with him. I haven't seen him this season so far up until today. He's had a very solid start as the right fullback. Here's Ben Hurd, knows a bit about being a right back, as he turns well inside 2 Hadley players and brings in Joe Bennett. Bennett forward, but in the end it's Hadley who will try and sort that one out, and they'll do so with Jevdij. Goes off for a throw-in, but now will put it out again on this near side of the field. Simon's having a little bit of a look, see what's going on. Bedford 1, Ware 0, 11 minutes the goal there, so not so good for Ware as Garzon finds Coughlin Brown, who rather gets it caught under his feet, and in the end gives Hadley a chance to wrestle it back, but only put it out. And also AFC Dunstable lead 2-0 at Welwyn Garden City, so Hertford are carrying the flag forward here, Simon, I think, with this 2-goal advantage. As Brian Burnell will take the throw in. And Saluddin once again just wrestles with it. He hasn't really had a clear chance, Hertford's number 9, to get involved in the game, as he lets the ball go over his head on that far side and runs out for a throw in. I mean, you were talking about having seen the game on Saturday and not being surprised at the changes that have been made. Ryan Burnell, coming out right back. I mean, he's impressed me.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's replaced Connor Clark there, and to be fair to him, I wasn't surprised to see that change. But I mean, it's good that Ben's got these players that can come in and replace someone if he feels need be. I mean, maybe injuries, unavailable, suspensions, performances, whatever. But you need that. You need those players that can come in and step in and hope they do a job. And absolutely seems like he's doing so tonight.
Yeah, he's building up a healthy squad here. I mean, no Charlie Payne tonight, but as I was saying earlier, I mean, it's a mix and match as far as experience goes with Joe Bennett, who's played a fair bit of football above this level at Step 3 with Potter's Bar. He was also at Welwyn Garden City at one stage, of course. So he's an experienced player to bring in, and probably in seasons gone by when one experienced player has gone out, Hertford haven't had the ability to bring another one in, but certainly they're getting that a little bit more. Connor Clark's on the bench, of course. He's another experienced player. Vlad Zigiartu's still here, although he's not involved tonight. Another experienced player. So it's a little bit of experience to aid these young lads who are learning their way. Cotland Brown's won, and that isn't a bad ball on this near side. He's going to get it back midway inside. Hadley half, not a lot to aim at for, but Wilson Burnell is now making his way into the box. All slows down a little bit though, and Joe Bennett goes back inside the centre circle for Ben Hurd. Ben turns on a little bit of pace forward, goes on, that's nice, far side looking for Wilson Burnell, but in the end it's Hadley that sorted out. Confidence flowing from this young Hertford team at the moment, anything but for Hadley, but they're coming forward here. It's a good run, but in the end goes absolutely nowhere from Luke Alfano, the number 11. On this near side, it's Joe Bennett who gets the sliding challenge in and puts the ball out of play in front of Uribari, who looked lively in the opening 10 minutes, but hasn't really had too much change since he's switched over to this side. But on that far side, Alfani turns the ball inside, but Joe Bennett sweeps up nicely. Cotland Brown's got a little bit of work to do and does well, turns away from Cameron Ferguson. Pepage for Joe Bennett. Bennett back on the edge of the penalty area for Ben Hurd. Far side brings in Assey. Assey, who's preferred in that left full-back role to Masani, who's on the bench. There's a habit, but I suppose Ben Hurd wouldn't he, of producing good young left-backs here. And Assey is another one on that far side. Chips the ball forward. But, Marriott's going to get there first, but can only chip it out on the halfway line for a throw-in, which Wilson Burnell will take. Burnell can't get the ball back, but it's Garzon who finds him in the end. In fact, Pepage who finds him in the end. Pepage continues the run, slips it inside. Looked like a foul on that far side on Wilson Burnell, and was. And so Hertford will have themselves a free kick just a little bit further than halfway inside the Hadley half. And we have 11 minutes to go before the break here at the Smile IT. Hertford lead 2-0, we're 1 down. Welling Garden City 2 down. And their game against the young team of AFC Dunstable. Their manager's saying this week he's going to stick with the lads because they've served him well. Good side to watch, AFC Dunstable. As have been at Hertford this evening. It's going to be the free kick, which will be taken on that far side by Pepage. Pepage puts it into the box, but it's a fairly easy header to come out from Kerami. He'll get the ball back again inside the area, the big central defender, and just chip it downfield. That's been the Hadley way. Haven't seen too much football. I mean, they very much have tried on Route 1, but Hertford up until now have been equal to that. But Ferguson puts Harry Barry forward, but his cross isn't a good one. And Hertford will get it clear. Gazon making a nuisance of himself, but it's Hayes that comes away with the ball. Hayes has to go all the way back into his own half for Bradley Marriott. Marriott looks up. Once again, hasn't got a lot on. Plays it forward. This time Stones comes. Plays the ball out on that far side of the field. The ball's pushed across by Lemba and straight into the arms of Luke Hewitt. Distributes it quickly. Burnell fancies another run perhaps. Goes around one. Plays it forward. Garzon takes it on. Elegant player Brian Garzon, but on that occasion gives the ball away. Long ball forward. Easy meet for Gilzine. Finds Joe Bennett just shy of the centre circle. Brings in Ryan Burnell. Burnell turns inside. Bennett goes all the way back to Gilzine on the edge of the 18-yard area. A little bit about turn by Harry Gilzine. Feeds the ball back to Luke Hewitt. Gilzine now chips it up towards the halfway line where it's brought down by Ryan Burnell, who had space. Makes use of that space coming forward, but he showed far too much of it in the end by Kerame. And goes in, follows in a little bit on the centre-back. Kind of a word from the referee, I think. But real contrasting styles here, Simon. You've got Hadley who are going Route 1 on most occasions. And, well, we know what we get from Hertford Town.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with what I've seen. Obviously, I've only been here for a few minutes. But there seems to be more of an urgency from the Hertford players. And as I said before, I'm sure they want to right the wrongs from Saturday. And when I spoke to Ben, he was very, very unhappy with the performance, and I'm sure he's told the boys that. And the way you do your talking for them is on the pitch, and that seems absolutely what they're doing. But it's you know what you're going to get with Hertford, and that's the way they're going to play. That's the way Ben wants them to play, and tonight it seems to be working for them.
Lemba puts the ball down on that far side to Stones, but once again it's good defending by Assi, although he's managed to lose the ball on the edge of the area, but tries to put the challenge in to get it back. Isaac Stones does well. Ben Hurd deflects the cross away, and Assi finally gets it up the field. It goes on that far side to the dangerous Wilson Burnell. While Simon was talking, by the way, Ryan Burnell picked up a yellow card, the first one of the evening. Coughlin Brown was pointing where he wanted it for Garzon, but Garzon turns in the opposite direction, threads it forward, but gives the ball away. Here come Hadley in the opposite direction with Billy Hayes. Hayes' ball on this near side to Uribari. Uribari puts the ball across, a little bit of a nudge from the number 10, Finlay Aldridge, but didn't really matter, because it went over his head and over that of Horrocks Assi as well. So Luke Newitt will go out and collect the ball and take the goal kick for Hertford. Skipper for the night. Can't remember Luke getting the armband before.
No, I can't recall him having done so. But I mean, he's an experienced player. He's been here for quite a while. Although he had that spell away, he's come back, and I think it's well deserved. And he's quite vocal as well in when he's in goal. So I think a perfect choice.
Second ball goes out of the ground on that far side over the fence above the dugouts. Hertford will have a throw, which Assi will take just about 5 yards inside the Hadley half. Ball breaks on that far side. Another long ball forward, which Ben Herb will just chip forward. Nice bit of control by Bepash. And Garzon will win the ball inside the Hadley half. Burnell's got it on that far side, but that was decent defending by Lemba. And the ball goes out for a throw-in to the side from, still not sure, Hertfordshire, London. Tell you a bit about Bunkin Hadley at half-time, including who used to live there. And it is, close to Barnet, but the people that live in Hadley will tell you it is not Barnet. So it is the London Borough of Barnet these days, but certainly not to be confused with the place. It's far side of the field. Hertford have themselves a free kick as we edge towards the final 5 minutes of the first half here. Very satisfactory first half. Ben Hurd's half-time team talk, I think, will be more of the same. As far as Hadley are concerned, as Mewitt just overruns the ball a little bit. So it's thumped into his area, but manages to recover and get it away from Isaac Stones. And Ben Hurd on this near side brings in Ryan Burnell, who takes the ball down nicely. Has to turn inside and then outside of Billy Hayes. Puts it all the way back to Harry Gilzine. Gilzine finds Ben Hurd. Hurd chips it towards the halfway line for Coughlin Brown. Gives it to Burnell. Burnell plays the ball to Harry Gilzine. Criticised Hertford, we have sometimes a lack of urgency, but certainly if you're a Hadley fan, you want your team to actually try and put Hertford under a bit more pressure in order to get into this game, which is certainly something they haven't really been doing. Here's Joe Bennett with plenty of room to move into right-hand side. Coughlin Brown is outside him. Joe Bennett making good progress. Bennett tries to turn inside, but tackle comes in and it will go out for a throw to Hertford Town. Coughlin Brown is waiting for Burnell, Ryan Burnell, who will take the throw. Hertford attacking the Sable end in this first half. Ball lands with Pepage, who scored that second goal. Near side, Ryan Burnell puts it for Joe Bennett. Bennett thought Coughlin Brown was overlapping, but he wasn't. And in the end, it's an easy job for Correr M8 to see it out for a goal kick. Again, it's symptomatic. I mean, Hertford are trying to do things here. They're trying to play some encouraging football, which is nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes I know that sometimes the fans do find it a little infuriating and want them to get forward more, want them to create more. And I think this tonight, it is more what the fans want to see. Sometimes you see them sort of like, when they're attacking and knock it about in the opposing box. But this time, actually tonight, they're getting those crosses in and getting those shots in. So very encouraging for the Hertford fans to see. Yeah,
it's been a good watch for those that are here. Bit of a sparse crowd tonight, but Harry Barry is being crowded out on that far side, and ball bounces off him in the end and gives a goal kick to Hertford Town. And Luke Mewett, all in orange, will collect the ball. No need to hurry for him. We've got 2 minutes to go before the break here. Keep you in touch with the Golden Boot. The 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Golden Boot has been going great guns, with goals going in left, right and centre with our grassroots teams. Give you the few of them going in here, of course. It's now the ground of Hatfield United, who've had a great start to their season in the Arts Senior County League. Luke Mewett, long kick forward, but it's going to be Hadley who'll get the ball back, but only onto the head of Harry Gilzine. Bernal brings it down for Pepage. Joe Bennett slices it on this near side. It's kept in play, and then it's given away. As Pepage will put it on this near side for Ryan Bernal. Pepage will get it back. Busy figure in that midfield, as is Joe Bennett, who finds Bernal. Bernal's ball forward, and here, the linesman's flag goes up, because that was the opportunity for Saluddin. He was absolutely on his own on the edge of the area, and again, you look at that Hadley defence, there was an acre between him and the two central defenders. Bernal was there as well, and that is something they're going to have to tighten up in the second half, or they're going to be out of sight.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good to see that Hertford are getting in that space, and fantastic ball there from Ryan Bernal. And you said when I arrived, how has he impressed you? And I can only praise him from what I've seen so far as well.
Yeah, very solid game for Hertford's number 2. Only slight blot on the copybook was a yellow card. He was a bit unlucky to get, but apart from that, ball's landed on the gantry on the far side. So someone's had to clamber up the ladder to get it back for Hadley. Know a bit about ladders and gantries. No thanks. Far side, Hertford's head the ball out through Pepage, and we're approaching time added on by our referee, which I couldn't imagine there'll be a lot. He's just looked at his watch. Nobody's needed any treatment. We've had a couple of goals, and Ben Hurd will clear the ball on this near side. And indeed, the referee does not add on more than about 30 seconds to the end of a very satisfactory first half, as Ben Hurd goes straight up to him and says, "You didn't add anything on there." Well, interesting, but he didn't need to add anything on, because Hertford have come in here at half-time with a 2-0 advantage. First one from Wilson Bernal. I was talking to, we saw James Kolofsky's goal for Welling Garden City a couple of weeks ago against Basildon United. Well, Wilson's goal wasn't quite as far back, but I would put it in the over 40-yard bracket from that left-hand side straight into the top right-hand corner. Bit special.
Excellent. I mean, trust my luck just to miss it. But never mind. It's but the main thing is Hertford, as you say, go in 2-0 head, and I can't understand why Ben would have complained to the referee for not adding any time on. If they was 2-0 down, I could understand. But look, when you're 2-0 up, you don't want added time on, do you?
Well, I think Luke Mewett's continuing the discussion with the smiling referee here, who's pointed at his watch. So I don't think it was only the manager, but the skipper as well that were wondering. But as you say, with the 2-goal lead, well, who's really too bothered? I think Anthony Clark, as far as Hadley were concerned, will want to get his team in there as quick as possible and say a few things to them. Could be a bit heated there, I've got the feeling. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Hadley. as in Monk and Hadley, not my grandson. Probably make a decent score of it out there. They were a team that were formed in 1882, and as such were, and always like to quote, and quite rightly so, they are the oldest football club in Barnet, because Barnet FC were formed after Hadley were formed. And indeed, Barnet FC nicked quite a few Hadley players at the end of the 19th century, which always caused a bit of friction between the two sides. It's now only one of two senior clubs within the bounds of the London Borough of Barnet, Wingate and Finchley being the other one. Barnet, Monk and Hadley itself, well, Hadley means heatherly, evidently, which is an area of land covered by heather. And Hadley's main claim to fame was in 1471, because it was the main site of the Battle of Barnet, which was a big battle back in those times, in the War of the Roses. And that took place very much in Hadley. Hadley Wood was part of the historical hunting grounds of Enfield Chase, as well as somewhere where I used to ride my bike as a youngster. And Hadley Wood Golf Club, interesting, was designed by Dr. Alistair Mackenzie. And as well as Hadley Wood Golf Club, he designed the Atlanta National Golf Course as well. So, not a bad job.
Yeah.
Not a bad job. Famous residents, well, very literary actually. Novelist Anthony Trollope, novelist Kingsley Amis, also Elaine Page, whose mum had a hat shop in Barnet High Street. Charles Dickens evidently used to drink in the Red Lion, just down the road. And Nico McBrien, the drummer with Iron Maiden, also lives in the area. And another famous resident was Sir William Garrow, who's a lawyer who introduced the phrase innocent until proven guilty into the English language. So fairly famous for that. And I'm leaving the best till last, because the most famous resident of Monk and Hadley, of course, was the wonderful Mr. Spike Milligan, who bought Monk and the Hurst in Monk and the Hadley, which was a large house with a big tower. And Spike used to go at the top of the tower and blow his trumpet. And do you want to hear the story of Spike Milligan's trumpet?
Of course I do.
Okay. The story of Spike Milligan's trumpet is when many years ago I was a trainee environmental health officer with London Borough of Barnet. We had a complaint from Mr. Milligan, which actually London Borough of Barnet, if they still had such things as filing cabinets, there'd be one with his name on it, because he was always complaining about something or the other. And this time he'd gone to the doctors. The doctor had carried out an analysis, and Spike was very worried because he had a high level of arsenic in his body. The doctor had found out through a sample. And so Spike was a little bit worried about this, so he actually called the Environmental Health Department and said, it must be my water supply, because, that's it. So dutifully, we trot to Monk and Hadley and to Monk and Hurst to meet Mr. Milligan in an attempt to take a sample of his water supply. I was a student at the time, so I kind of sat there starstruck in the corner, where the wily old public health inspector I was said, well, just before we take your water sample, Spike, just ask you a few questions. And he noticed that at the time Spike had his trumpet in his hand, and he was sitting there, and he had a cloth, and he was polishing the mouthpiece to his trumpet. And the wily old inspector looked and said, "Can I ask you one question, Spike?" He said, "Yeah, what are you doing there?" He said, "I am polishing my trumpet." And he said, "Yeah, what do you polish it with?" He said, "Well, Brasso," and gave him the thing of Brasso. Took one look at it, major constituent of Brasso, arsenic. That's the story of Spike Milligan's trumpet.
Oh, yeah. I could sense it was coming. Obviously, like you said, a story about his trumpets. I was guessing it was something to do with the mouthpiece and that. But
give us the scores.
Yeah,
Go on.
There you go. Right. So it's 2-0 all round for our local teams. We're still 2-0 down at Bedford, and Welwyn Garden City 2-0 down at home to AFC Dunstable. Elsewhere, Kempston Rovers and Kidlington is 0-0. Biggleswade Town are 1-0 up against Kings Langley. Leighton Town 0, Cirencester Town 0. And Stotfold 0, Waltham Abbey 0 as well. And the other score we have for you is Tame United 1, Biggleswade 0.
So that's going to be of interest to Hertford, isn't it? If you look at the the top of the table. Obviously, Bedford marching on, but Kings Langley are in second place down. Leighton Town, of course, are up there as well, are drawing with Cirencester, who are fourth. Northley haven't got a game. So out of the top 5, Bedford are the only team that are doing particularly well at this moment. Hertford started off just 2 points out of those top 5 places this morning. So win here could well see Hertford progress into the top 5, which I'm sure Ben would be extremely happy with.
I'm sure he would. Yeah, absolutely. It's like we said, the league form is the bread and butter, and this is what you want, and it's important, especially after the seasons they've had before, to get points on the board early. It's still September, and if you've got 10 points on the board already, I think that's going to be a great start for Hertford, and I'm sure Ben will be pleased with that.
Yeah, Hertford teams so much, as Simon's just said, have been playing catch-up in seasons. There was a season where they had this pitch put down, of course, when they played away from home all the time, which didn't help them. But this time they could be looking down on opponents who come, and this young team might worry a few people, which will be really good to see. Goalkeepers have been worried in the Golden Boot. The 90 Minutes Live Golden Boot in association with Easy Shelf. I'll give you the top 6. 11 now is the mark if you want to top the charts. Eben Mabona of Hatfield Town, who plays his football here, has scored 11, and so has Jamie Marshall for Hertford Heath. Jamie Marshall had a banner weekend. He scored 4 at the weekend, having scored 7 prior to that, so he's now up on 11. Charlie Yearwood of AFC Welling has got 10. Kamari Collington of Hatfield Town has got 9. Kendall Giamphy of AFC Welling has got 8. And Harry Watson of Buntingford actually scored a goal at the weekend, but he's still down there on 7. So 11 goals. This time in September, it don't matter what's the standard of football, there's some going, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's great effort, and it looks like it's really hotting up as well. I can bring you the race for the women's Golden Boot. Obviously, there's not been so many games. I think teams have had like 3 league games. And there has been some FA Cup games as well, but obviously not so many going there. So it is unsurprisingly Christina O'Connell from Rodson Park Ladies who leads the race on 4. We've got Sophie Vowell of the same team. She's on 3, as well as Anne Jenkins from Buntingford Town Women and Katie Deeprose and also Jessica Duff from Bury Rangers Women. They're all on 3. There are about half a dozen players on 2, so I didn't want to sort of mention all those names as well. So I thought if I just did the top 5 and mention those, but unsurprisingly, Christina O'Connell leading the way.
Yeah, she is the renowned goal scorer in women's football in this area. Of course, we'll keep you in touch with that as the season progresses. There is actually a game in the Arts Senior Charity Trophy tonight. St Margaret's Bury at home against Hoddesdon. A little bit of local difficulty there. 2 teams who've struggled big time at the beginning of the season. As far as we go on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf, we haven't actually discussed this, so you wouldn't get this, would you, producers of Match of the Day audio, saying where are we going to go on Saturday then, what should we put on? I was thinking that we would go to Welwyn Garden City against Bedford.
Yeah, absolutely, yes, same here. I'd looked at it and I thought it was going to be that one, so yeah. Everyone, you've heard it here first. The decision was made right here as we speak. So Welwyn Garden City against against Bedford, on Saturday.
Yeah, this is radio by the people for the people. Okay, so that's what will be then. I've got a feeling that the following Saturday will be where against Kempston, but we'll talk about that one a little bit before it happens.
Shall we decide before we go on air and or should we just surprise people?
I think we should keep people wondering, and we'll do it on Saturday at the Welwyn Garden City game.
Sounds fair enough to me.
Could be a new feature.
Yeah.
Where I'll beat Simon next week. Yeah, absolutely. So
that'll feel half time up as well. Take a little slot there, would it? Not that we've got enough to discuss anyway, but yeah.
Oh dear, where else would you get it? Spike Milligan's trumpet. presenters deciding we're going to be on a Saturday, and many thanks seriously to all the people that send messages during the week. The listener figures which have gone through the roof, which were quite unbelievable for the Chelmsford Ware FA Cup game. And I had Steve King, as people that listen to that game will have noted, sitting next to me. He said, how many people did you get then? I said, well, Steve, next time the stats come out, you, a stat man, I will tell you. And I did. I emailed him with our statistics, and it was a one-word email that came back from Steve. Just said the word wonderful, which was nice.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. Unfortunately, I was working. I was listening to the game. I was at the doorstep of people's houses. I had the phone in my pocket playing, and a couple of them I actually asked what I was listening to, and I got back to work, and I had it on when I was unloading the van and things like that. And brilliant, absolutely fantastic work that you did there, and not only that, but you say the figures on there. YouTube has really picked up this week. Great figures on there, and I will say, give a mention to Jamie McGill. I know he's here tonight, so he's not listening, but he's been commenting on all our YouTube videos, and I think it was really nice because after the original FA Cup game last Saturday, he put a message on saying he was listening. Good luck to Ware, and he wished them well, and he wished them well in the replay as well. Which, coming from a Hertford town fan, I know obviously you've got that rivalry, but it's great that he was on there supporting another local team as well.
Yeah, absolutely, all part of the non-league family, and it's long may that remain so. I think Hadley are about to spring the changes here. Got a couple of substitutes out warming up, who are Herbie Townsend and Josh Banfield. So looks like we're going to be seeing those two.
Yeah, I mean, I have just seen the substitutes board flash up. So they're obviously planning something. We'll just have to wait and see who does and who doesn't emerge from the half time.
Yeah, they've got to plan something. The way that first half's gone for them, there's no doubt about that. Also, thank you, by the way, to those people that wish me well. I had that bug last week, but it's really nice to get a couple of messages on Twitter saying glad you're back and glad you're well. Thanks very much to those. If I do give people an embarrassed look when they wave at me and whatever, I'm fast finding out that people know who I am, but I don't know who they are, because there were two very nice ladies at Chelmsford who said to me as I walked up the stairs, do you know where we sit? And I said, well, no, I'm a visitor as well. And they then did a double take, and one woman said to the other, oh yeah, it's the man with the headphones. So thank you, ladies. It was very nice to be recognised as the man with the headphones, and I hope they enjoyed their evening. As referee taking a little bit of a time getting the teams back out. Ian Bush, our friend, the secretary here, just strolling along the line with the chairman, Colin Hay. And actually, one thing I must say, I'll work with Ian Bush, trying to go on the Hertford website today, and I don't know whether it's me, but I'll go and find it.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I've not tried in the last few days, so I'm sure that's one of the things he'll be able to turn his hand to. I know I saw him on Saturday, and he was saying that Chris Eagles isn't here tonight, so he's going to have to do all the updating on for the Southern League, and he's got to learn all that. And he says it's one of those processes where he's not quite been shown how to do it, and he's got to learn on the job, so to speak. So hopefully he's getting on all right with that.
Good luck with that one, Ian. And football at this level survives through well-meaning volunteers who give out their time, they spend their money, and this football could not survive without them. So as always, we take our hats off to the hard-working volunteers that keep football at this level going. Hertford substitutes, well, Subwatch tells us they're all out there, and I know you only saw half of the first half, as it were, but if you were Ben, I wouldn't be making any changes just yet.
No, I don't think there's any need to really. From like I say, from what I saw the first half, I know he made a couple of early substitutions on Saturday and changed things about a bit. But as they say, Pete, if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
absolutely. And it'd be interesting to know what's said in that Hadley dressing room by their manager. They've made great strides as a club as this is only their second season at Step 4, played a lot of their football at park football level, and then had 3 or 4 really good seasons, were ground sharing at Potter's Bar at one stage before they got their own little ground, which is a very neat little ground, and out come the 2 teams.
We've just had Lucas behind us, and he's just tapped me on the shoulder, and I looked around, and he said he's back, and gave me a big thumbs up. So that's another one that's pleased to see you.
Thank you, Lucas. Very nice as well. See our friend Brian Jennings down there as well as the 2 teams come out. Changes are going to be on the Hadley side, so we'll keep an eye on what's going on as far as they are concerned, trying to work out numbers that are missing as players do come out. The substitute Herbie Townsend's a midfield player. He's 20 and he was here. He's another one of those that was here but never made a first team appearance, so he's certainly out there. And the other substitute that was warming up was Josh Banfield, 27, fairly experienced midfield player as well. One thing Hadley have been lacking, it's been goals and it's been alternatives up front as well, which they haven't had many. I think that is possibly going to be the only change with Townsend coming on, because you can see that everybody there as the board flashes in the night sky here at the Smile IT. There's nothing like an evening at the park with those lights on. It's great. Always love it. As, in fact, over the far side, Banfield is going to be coming on now. So 2 substitutions for Hadley at half-time. They trail here by 2 goals to 0. The board's going to go up in a second. It's going to be the number 7 who is going to go off. Zach Uribari. He's not going to reappear. So he is going to be have his place taken. And the other player that is not going to emerge after half-time, just waiting for the board to go up and tell us that one. It was number 10, Finley Aldridge. Someone's just given us a thumbs up. What was that all about?
He was listening to the first half.
Right.
He gave us a thumbs up.
So there we go.
I mean, that's what we like to hear. They're here, they're watching the game, and they're listening. Brilliant.
Yeah. Just it worries me though. People are watching and listening. I mean,
But they can see what's actually happening.
I could be getting it all wrong here. As Hadley are about to get us underway again here at the Smile IT in the second half. A trail here by 2 goals to a real worldie from Wilson Burnell, and then an assured finish by Burgess Pepage has put Hertford very much in the box sheet. They're going to be kicking from right to left. That's away from the stable end, for those of you that know the ground here. Referee taking his time, but eventually I'm sure he's going to blow the whistle and get things underway. Checks his watch. Certainly no hurrying, Mr. Markwick. And finally goes the whistle. And away we go in the second half here. Well, if Hadley are going to get back into this one, you would surmise they're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at Hertford in the opening 15 minutes of this half. They are coming forward, but again, things go rather awry as linesman's flag goes up on this near side. The pass came in from Billy Hayes, but nothing doing. Take through the Hertford lineup. Luke Mewett skippers and is in goal. The 2 central defenders, Ben Hurd and Harry Gilzine. On the right-hand side, Ryan Burnell. And the left full-back is Horrickson Assey. On the left-hand side, you've got Wilson Burnell. On the right-hand side, Sonny Coghlan Brown. And then in midfield, just in front of the back 4 is Joe Bennett. A little bit further in front of him, Burgess Pepage and Brian Garzon. And then up front, wearing the number 9 shirt for Hertford tonight, Collody Saladin. Well, that's the line-up for Hertford. Here is Saladin. Pulls the ball inside. Good ball. It's Ryan Burnell. Garzon. Oh, excellent football. Hertford Town. Brian Garzon scores his 3rd goal of the season, and already at this early stage, I can't see Hadley coming back from that.
No, absolutely not. I mean, really well worked goal. going down that left-hand side, that right-hand side, sorry, puts it in, cuts it back for Garzon, and he puts it in the net. 3 goals in what, 4 days? Excellent.
Well, that was an absolute joy to watch. Whatever level you watch your football at, perfect flowing move by Hertford Town. Expertly finished off. He's caught the eye as well, Brian Garzon, the English Ecuadorian, I suppose we'll call him. He's got dual nationality. He's a youth player at Southend. Very useful acquisition. So those changes from Anthony Clark haven't had any time at all to get used to anything, and they found themselves another goal behind. And sadly, Hadley conceded their 12th away goal of the season in just 5 games. And that looks like they're going to stay rooted to the bottom of Southern League Division 1 Central. Near side of the field, Lember's ball, he's not a good one. Here's Garzon, making life difficult for Bradley Marriott. Marriott does well, shows a bit of experience. This is a defender with the white boots. Then the herd goes up. Ball is pulled down on this near side by Billy Hayes. Lember going for a run down the right wing. Lember tees up the cross, a decent one to the far post. Mewitt's lost it, and coming in was the number 3, Joseph Jevjic. Couldn't get hold of it. Spared Luke Mewitt's blushes a little bit there. No time to be sloppy. Hertford have got this one well in control, leading by 3 goals to 0. 6 goals, of course, in last 2 home games. 3 on Saturday as well. It's been a Hertford Town side that's playing pretty football has sometimes been accused of being a bit shot shy, but certainly not the case over the past couple of weeks, as Mewitt comes out, collects the ball on the edge of his area and takes it away, and will bowl it out on this near side for Horrocks and Assey. Assey's long ball forward for the very willing run of Brian Garzon. Garzon there once again causing problems for Marriott. Marriott has to turn inside, and Garzon's penned him in down there by the corner flag. Not a foul, or was it? The referee finally says it was, and Hadley get themselves out of trouble, but only at the behest of the referee. Talked about Ryan Burnell, first time for me to see Brian Garzon, and there's a player there. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have the a great deal of opportunities on Saturday. He had 2 penalties. Second penalty he took really well. The first one just about squeezed under the keeper. But you could see on Saturday that he had that threat about him anyway. So I mean, I think, as you said, it's a fantastic addition to the side, and he's going to prove that at home. For obviously there weren't too many Hertford fans that travelled on Saturday, and their first chance to see him as well. And I'm sure he's impressing them so far.
Yeah, most definitely. Very cool finish for goal number 3. All 3 goals have been very well taken. Joe Bennett plays the ball to Assey. Good ball through Garzon. He wasn't offside. Burnell's in acres of space on the left-hand side. Here he is, Wilson Burnell. Wilson Burnell on the edge of the area, pulls the ball across to the back stick, and just over the top of Saludin and out for a goal kick. But once again, it's inventive stuff from Hertford as they're coming forward. Wilson Burnell, certainly a danger. I mean, everybody obviously misses OB here, David Ogbonna, but once again we found another number 11 here in Wilson Burnell.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know from even when we first started that Ben always likes a pacey winger, doesn't he? I mean, I remember when it was Prince I'm afraid, wasn't it? And he, if I remember rightly, he said he was the quickest player he'd ever seen. And then you had Obi, now you've got Wilson here as well. So it goes to show, Ben does like a pacey winger.
Yeah, a little conveyor belt occurring here. As the ball thumped forward and up in the air by Joe Bennett. It's Hadley played down, and on that far side, I think it's Jovdic, but he's got back up now, and they're in possession, but not for long, as the ball bounces off of Sonny Coghlan-Brown and goes out for a throw-in. Interesting, I suppose, for Ben. His side have got this comfortably at 3-0, but they, of course, have got a game coming up on Saturday. So does he bring on a few substitutes, rest a few, as Charlie Taylor has to come rushing out of his goal, goes over the top of Assey, but Ben Hurd had read that, finds Assey again, who manages to keep the ball in well. Ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a Hertford Town throw. But I suppose that's an interesting conundrum for Ben. I mean, he's, there's players out there, as you say, who want to prove a point. So, maybe you want to give them as long as possible to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when I spoke to Ben Saturday, he said, sometimes you'll have those players on the bench from then that are saying, look, why aren't I starting? And then, they're starting tonight, and they put a performance in like this. I'm sure on Saturday they'll be saying, well, I should be in the team. So I think not only that, but what you said, but it'll be interesting to see what sort of team he puts out on Saturday, and what sort of changes he makes then as well. Because on this performance tonight, then I think some of those players, not all of them, but some of those players will find it tough to get back inside.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That's what every manager wants: competition for places. Mr. Mark Wick, not the most popular with Hadley. Thought they should have had a free kick there, but Hertford have got a throw in on this near side. He was a fire officer, by the way, for a job. Was Mr. Mark Wick. He retired and took up refereeing. His son's a referee now. He's just at 15. I wonder if he's here watching his dad tonight. Maybe not. School night. Long kick forwards, and Gilzine misjudged it to start with, but Ben Hurd gets him out of trouble. Ryan Burnell, and he finds Billy Hayes, far side of the field. The ball flicked forward to the edge of the Hertford area, but up in the air by the substitute Banfield. And Hadley have offered precious little since the beginning of the second half here. They found themselves 3 goals down. Burnell for Joe Bennett. Ryan Burnell, and that's nicely done by Sonny Goughlin-Brown going down the right-hand side. Wilson Burnell always sniffing on that far post. Coughlin-Brown has to go backwards and bring in Garzon. And in the end, Garzon just nips it forward to Coughlin-Brown. They're outnumbered by red shirts, but via Joe Bennett, they find Pepash midway inside the Hadley half. Here's Wilson Burnell, left-hand side. Burnell going round Lembo, who slipped, but then showed a good recovery and a good bit of strength to win the ball and thump it forward. Ben Hurd gets there first. Ball's going to go out of play on this near side, and it'll be the big right back who used to play for FC Romania, who will take the throw in near side of the field. Only onto the head of Pepage though. Chipped forwards by Cameron, but it's Harry Gilzine who wins it. Gilzine coming forward here. Gilzine goes across the halfway line. Still Harry Gilzine. And in the end, it took the intervention of Kerame, and he got me in here over that far side. It's Alfano onto the right foot, and that sums up Hadley's night. Ball forward for Herbie Townsend evading, and Townsend has to go back. Still got the ball though, is the number 14, not for long. Good challenge coming in by Pepash. He's put in a shift as well in midfield. Here's Wilson Burnell. Goes across the halfway line. Pepage left-hand side. He's got 2 to aim at. Making their way to the box. Pepage strikes the shot! And the goalkeeper Charlie Taylor wasn't sure. And in the end, he pushed it behind for a corner. Pepage having a little look at Wilson Burnell there, saying, well, if you can do it.
Well, I mean, I think the keeper thought it was going to come straight into his arms, but just at that last moment, it just seemed to dip a little bit, and he had to punch it away to prevent another Hertford goal.
Not the tallest of keepers is Charlie Taylor. Corner could be taken by Sonny Goughlin-Brown on that far side. Referee saying he wants to hold things up because Hadley are about to make their third change of the evening. So Anthony Clark has obviously seen enough this time from his number 6, who is Cameron Ferguson. So Cameron Ferguson will come off, and coming on will be Billy Baird. In fact, that isn't Billy Baird, that's Jordan Edwards. So got the numbers a little bit wrong here with the announcement. That undoubtedly is Jordan Edwards who's coming out. It's Billy Baird, right back. He used to play for Ware, so I think I'd recognise him. Yeah, 17, Jordan Edwards, who comes out. He's a striker. Played at Welling Garden City. Knows a little bit about local football around these parts. So Hadley, a striking threat, but Hertford, a threat from the corner, but Hadley managed to get that one clear. And Ben Hurd is back doing the covering job before Alfano can cause a problem for Luke Hewitt, who skies it out. I think it's number 4, although I might be losing count. That's gone out of the ground on that far side. See what the changes have done. Well, the changes, not surprisingly, have put Jordan Edwards up front for Hadley. But they really are going to have to give him some service, because they haven't caused Luke Hewitt a problem in the slightest so far. And we are 12 minutes in to a second half of the game at Hertford Town. Have it well into control. Bedford 4, Wales 1 now. Lincoln Goss has scored a goal. Shot comes in. First time Luke Hewitt's had to do anything really, and that was the dive away to his left hand side from Billy Hayes. And the ball goes out. So, kind of glad I'm not there. I'm talking to Paul Halsey after that one.
Well, if you listen very carefully, you might be able to hear him.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Meanwhile, Hertford coming at the other end. We chose the right game tonight, no doubt about that. Here's Sonny Coughlin-Brown for Pepash. Pepash's ball rebounds on that far side from Banfield to Sonny Coughlin-Brown. That's to go backwards to Ryan Burnell, to Joe Bennett. Burnell gets it back off of Bennett. Bennett will collect it again. That's the dirty work, Joe Bennett out there. He's one of those players that you notice more when he's not there. He fulfills that Charlie Payne role well, just in front of the back four, providing the security. As Hadley come forward, that's a decent-looking ball on the far side, sending Isaac Stones away to run, but in the end, one bounce, and it goes out of play. And that kind of job that Joe Bennett does is he's uncried in football, but so important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that unsung character role, isn't it, that he's taken on.
Charlie Taylor comes out at the feet of Garzon, clears to the halfway line, but only as far as Pepash. Ryan Burnell forward, Garzon tried to help it on for Sonny Coughlin-Brown, but couldn't do so. Hertford subs warming up on that far side of the field. Connor Clark, Mo Diaby, Kuranashi, Mashani, Cardozo's over there as well, as is Sundanasi Sendedge. So possibilities for a change, I guess, as Charlie Taylor comes out of goal, but it's going to be a free kick. Hertford taking their foot off the gas just a little bit here, but can't really blame them for that as we approach the hour mark, and they lead here comfortably by 3-0. Wilson, Burnell and Pepash before half-time, and a real cracking team goal by Brian Garzon after it has given them a comfortable advantage here against Hadley, and we'll hopefully move them on to 10 points after 6 games, which will put them above North Lee, who were 5th this morning, and depending on how Cirencester says to get on the day, will may well put them level with them as well. Sonny Coughlin-Brown on this near side. Here's Wilson Burnell. A little bit of a buzz every time he gets the ball. Burnell turns inside, outside, but that time Hadley win the back ball, but Hertford get the ball back. Here's Assey as he turns it inside. Here's Burnell again. Drifts inside, turns right, turns left. Here's Pepash with the shot, bounces off a defender, and in the end it will come clear on this near side on the halfway line. Sonny Coughlin-Brown goes in. It was enthusiastic. I don't think there was any malice at all about him. Sonny got a bang on the head. The challenge was on Billy Hayes. Not sure whether Sonny's going to get a yellow card when he gets up, but he was late, but no malice about that at all.
No, there wasn't. And as you say, he has got a yellow card from the referee. But as you say, no malice in that at all. But late challenge, and you can see why the referee booked him. And the referee on Saturday, Pete. I mean, Well, the yellow cards he was dishing out were for absolute nonsensical challenges. I mean, it was even in the way he done it, but Hertford fans and the Felixstowe fans couldn't believe some of the cards he was giving for the opposing teams, so to speak. It was dreadful.
Well, we've seen, unfortunately, a couple of questionable officials this season. We've also seen some good ones. As Garzon picks the ball up for Hertford. On his left, Wilson Burnell, who will find him. Burnell, first time cross, yes, but couldn't keep it in, and it goes in to the side netting. And Hadley will take the kick, but it's very difficult to see. I mean, one thing you've got to see is not to be too critical of Hadley, but how did they put 4 goals past Ware, looking at what we've seen tonight?
Well, no, I mean, I think that's exactly the thing that's on my mind, really. It's you can't see. I haven't seen them create anything, and I can't see what sort of threat they would have been to Ware to, even score 1 goal, let alone 4. So, I mean, that must have been a real off day for Ware.
Yeah, it's a tight little ground, but no excuse at all. They've got themselves a free kick. About 35 yards out, right-hand side of the field. It's going to be one of the substitutes, Josh Banfield. In fact, Banfield's going to leave it to another one of the substitutes. Herbie Townsend will be. That will take this one. Hertford have pulled everybody behind the ball, and everybody bar Wilson Burnell inside the penalty area. Pepage is right on the edge of it. So a lot of pushing and jostling going on the edge of that area. Referee sounds a whistle. Here's Townsend's free kick. It's a decent one as well. And the header goes over the top of the crossbar. As once again Alvin Kerame up from the back, but got underneath it, and no problem whatsoever from Luke Mewett. Mewett's kick, long ball forward. Referee says the ball was rolling, and so Charlie Taylor will have to return it to him as we approach the 18th minute of the second half here. Good night for Hertford at the Smile IT Stadium. Bad night for Ware at the New Erie. They trail 4-1 against divisional leaders Bedford. Willingdon City last time we looked were trailing as well against AFC Dunstable. There's Wilson Burnell. I don't know if you heard that. There's a ball coming off his chest as Hadley went it again. Look for Stones, who can't control it away from the challenge of Joe Bennett, and then the ball forward by Billy Hayes. It's a fairly harmless and winless one, and goes behind for a goal kick to Hertford Town. Fairly deserted stable end tonight, unusual. But, a few Hertford fans at the other end with the Blue Army flag. It's going to go on tour after this game a bit, of course, because they've got Kings Langley, Cirencester, Barton and Welwyn Garden City to visit before they come back here. Meanwhile, Afana's shot on, it's gone in. It's gone under Luke Mewett and into the back of the net. So Luke Afano has grabbed a goal and nothing for Hadley with 20 minutes of the second half gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Hertford players looked as surprised as we are. I mean, it didn't look like anything was going to come create for that, and unfortunately for Luke, as he's dived, it's just slipped underneath him and into the back of the net.
Now Luke will know he should have done better with that one. Let's hope that doesn't start a miraculous comeback, as Hertford were well in control up until that moment. Lemba heads it out. Never know what goal's going to do to the game though. Billy Hayes, ball forward, looking for Jordan Edwards. And the ball from Alfana is Jordan Edwards. It bounces off of Harry Gilzine. Hadley fans behind the goal are saying that was a penalty. Referee saying it wasn't. And Billy Hayes' ball then bounces off of Joe Bennett and takes all the sting out of it. So Luke Mewett can find Ryan Burnell on the far side. Hertford just need to pick it up a bit here. Can do with Sonny Coughlin Brown. Burnell making a great run down that right-hand side. Here's Ryan Barnell, puts the ball across the box. Wilson Barnell will keep it in. Just pushed him a little bit wide. Here's Garzon. First touch wasn't the best. Plays it back to Assey. Assey infield for Bebaj. Pepage going for the penalty area, pulls the ball inside. Nobody read his intention, and Charlie Taylor will come out and collect it. Hertford have been so far in control of this game, but you just never know with a team, do you? When they score a goal, suddenly the confidence can come back.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to lift the Hadley tails up, isn't it? The only thing you don't want is for those Hertford heads to drop, and it's important for the next 5 minutes after conceding a goal, at least to keep things tight and not concede another sudden second one.
Well, Jordan Edwards has made a bit of a difference up there when he's been. At least he's a physical presence, which they haven't had up until now. So he's going to give Gilzine and Hurd a bit of a workout. On this near side is Billy Hayes for them, wearing 8. Hayes puts the ball central midfield. That's excellent tracking back by Brian Garzon, who picks the ball off his toe. And Wilson Burnell will find Pepage. Pepage on this near side's given it away, but atones for his error as the ball goes out of play. Bradley Marriott's not happy, but I think the referee's assistant got it just about right, and Bradley Marriott's going to get himself a yellow card. There's protestation and what he thought was a throw in. Hertford about to make a substitution. I think Ryan Burnell might well be going off. Double substitution. Ryan Burnell is going to go off to be replaced by Connor Clark. So right full-back for right full-back, and Sonny Godwin-Brown has gone off, and he is going to be replaced by Sundasi Sendej. So 2 changes for Hertford. Just wonder if that was done. I mean, Ryan Burnell's not played a fantastic amount of football this season, looked very impressive, so it's maybe put him on ice till Saturday.
Yeah, possibly. It's I think after the performance he's given tonight, I think maybe he might have a little thought in Ben's head for starting him Saturday, and just to rest him, as you say, he's not played a great deal, so maybe he doesn't want to give him the full 90 and just protect him a little bit and nurse him into things slowly.
Probably the case with Sonny as well, who of course been playing football in the FA Youth Cup, as well as playing for the first team. Is Connor Clark involved in his first action, goes up above Jordan Edwards, didn't know where the ball is first time, but reacts quick as second, plays the ball out. Garzon can't get there, and Hadley will get the ball clear to the halfway line. So they had a bit of a spring in their step since that goal went in, although couldn't control that one, and will go out for a goal kick to Hertford. 21 minutes of the match remaining here at the Smile IT Stadium. Pete and Simon with you on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct Limited, who we thank for giving us the ability to bring you football involving our local clubs, Hertford, Ware and Welwyn Garden City throughout the season. Hasn't always been pleasant so far this season, but very pleasant tonight. Hertford lead by 3-1 on the halfway line. The ball pushed forward for Jordan Edwards from Luca Fano. Fano, though, comes up against Connor Clark, and then the ball ricochets away and onto the halfway line. It's now Bedford 5, where 1 Linton Goss again, and I think again here Halsey. Meanwhile, Hadley coming forward, great challenge by Ben Hurd on the edge of his own penalty area to deny the run from Townsend. Hayes has found him again though. Townsend shots, and Luke Hewitt turns it wide of the post for a corner. Hadley have sprung into life here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that goal's given them a little bit of confidence, as you said, which is the danger. And Hertford have just got to keep their concentration going, just to ensure they don't get another goal back into this game. Just to update you, Pete and everyone else, it is still 2-0 to AFC Dunstable at the Pexhurst Stadium as well against Welwyn Garden City.
So things not going our way there, but things going our way here, with Hertford leading by 3-1. We will be at the Pexhurst on Saturday to see Bedford down. That's going to be interesting. As Hadley, I don't quite know what's going on here. The referee coming across to his assistant. I think it's Billy Hayes who's waiting to take the corner. for Hadley. I don't know whether he said something to the assistant. The assistant spotted something that the referee hasn't seen, but having a little bit of a conversation down by the corner flag. Fairly in-depth conversation as well. So we'll see what the result of this is when our referee, Mr. Mark Wick, still talking. Like a chat, doesn't they?
Yeah, I mean the linesman was pointing towards sort of like the 6-yard area, but I don't know what he might have seen. It looks like their chat might be done. Is the referee going to do anything?
He's looking at his watch.
He's going to call someone over.
He's going to pull somebody here. That's.
He's pulling the two captains together by the look of it.
Two skippers. So some half-hearted man shouts off near us. I don't think that's an option here. Referee is still pointing and saying something to the two captains just inside the 18-yard area. Well, he didn't add anything on at the end of the first half. He's going to add something on in the second half, and a lot of it's been because of this. As Joe Bennett just strolls away. Pepage is there as well. And it's Luke Alfano who's got the armband for Hadley, and Luke Muir. Ben Hurd comes up there now. Referee who definitely likes a chat is still going. Surely you can tell you what.
I think it's something. It looks like he's pointing something behind the goal. I don't know if it's anything to do with the Hadley fans or.
Ben is now there and he's signalling to someone here near the stand that something needs to be done. Alfano is going off towards those Hadley fans. Quite know what that's all about. He's having a word with someone leaning on the rail. Billy Hayes is waiting patiently to take.
There's a couple. You've got Lucas and Brian going around there as well. So I'm guessing there's been some sort of comments from one of the fans.
Well, that's. I can see Lucas in the yellow vest is there. He's having a word with those Hadley fans, and I think, as you say, Simon, rightly spotted, that's presumably where the problem's been with the fans behind the goal, and now we've got the Hadley manager on the pitch. This is interesting. No idea what is going on here.
It looks like Lucas and Brian's just approaching, so it looks like they're going to stand there with the fans and just to make sure that they're behaving themselves. I mean, obviously we don't know anything that has been said, so it's only speculation, but that seems to be the obvious choice.
Well, be talking to Ben after the game, so there's a question. What on earth this was all about? We're going to have a good... shame I didn't look at my watch when play stopped. 4 or 5 minutes because of this, probably. Added on the top. Quite what Anthony Clark is saying, the Hadley manager. I've got no idea. He's pointing once again to the fans. And, let's face it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're talking 6 people there up against the rail. We're not talking like a busload here. We're just talking here. The referee's going over again to the corner flag. Ben Hurd's going to have a little bit of word with Lucas to say to him.
I think he's moving someone away.
Well, he's either moving him away,
moving him to the back of the stand.
He's a big fella, I'll give him that. But referee is still having a word with his assistant, and everybody is standing up, looking like we are, wondering what's going on. And. Well, the fan in question is retreating to behind the goal. Brian Jennings is there as well. And, I don't know, something must have been said, which is a real shame, because whether your team's winning, losing, drawing, we are part of the non-league family, and we don't like to see what's happening here at the moment, involving what we can only surmise to be Hadley fans, which I think they are. And they're actually all now walking. The referee now is back in the penalty area, and Billy Hayes, who's been the most patient footballer on the park, I think, is now ready to take the corner.
I mean, if something has been said, I don't see what moving them along a little bit, what that achieves.
Well, here comes the corner, and finally we're back in play as the header comes in. And it's a pretty good header as well, but in the end, from Luke Alfano, It goes wide of the target. Half a player down that was challenging him. And just look again behind that goal. The fans have spread out a bit. I don't know if the referee was worried about numbers together. But certainly a blow on the head there. It's
Pepash.
It's Pepash, isn't it? Yeah. I was thinking it might be Harry Gilzine, but it isn't. So it's been very stop-start the last couple of minutes. If you're still listening, thanks for sticking with us. It's been one of those, isn't it? I mean, we've had it all here on 90 Minutes Live throughout the few years we've been going. We've had dogs on the pitch. We've had various other things. Bradley Marriott's come across now to have a little bit of a chat with the fans by the rail in front of the stand here. Pepash is going to have to go off. So Hertford will be momentarily down to 10. Brian Jennings is still having a word with 3 fans behind the goal. Lucas is just standing there on his own, the other Hertford steward. And Luke Hewitt's about to restart from the goal away to our right. And ball high into the sky and misses everybody. And he's going to run out of play. Is it on that far side? And yeah, it does. And it's going to be a goal kick to Hadley. You do wonder, that when that was happening, Hadley were having the best part of the game.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So if the Hadley fans have sort of like stopped their momentum, so to speak. So I mean, could we see a little change in what happens in the game now?
Well, if I was Anthony Clark, I wouldn't be happy with my own supporters at all, because Hertford attempting to come forward with Sendage on that far side. Garzon's got to chase on. Marriott's going to get there first, put the ball back to Charlie Taylor. First touch, just away from Wilson Burnell. Picks out Lambert midway inside his own half. Long striding number 4 will come forward. Play the ball to his left-hand side. He goes right now with Billy Hayes. Billy Hayes' ball is not a good one though, and Assey can come forward for Hertford, and he does well. There's Horrocks and Assey plays the ball forward, but Charlie Taylor was always favourite to get there first, but referee sounds a whistle for offside, and so it wouldn't have mattered. Saladin was the man it was aimed at. Lembert's got it midway inside the Hertford half. Long ball on the far side. Surely that was a shove in the back on Connor Clark. But referee says no. Alfano goes across, and Billy Hayes will come across to take another corner. Let's hope we can get this one done with less than 4 or 5 minutes. Looks like Billy Hayes is going to take the corner on that far side of the field. Bradley Marriott's gone down inside the centre circle, worrying for Hadley. It's a decent corner. Hewitt comes up, has it taken off his head. Lember puts it back in, and the miscue comes in the end from Assey and straight into the arms of Luke Hewitt. Hewitt bowls it out to Horrocks and Assey, the left back. Wilson Burnell was in his own half. I haven't seen much of him in the last 10 minutes or so. Here's Pepash, feeds in his ball forwards, not a good one, and Ben Herbal comes sliding in, and Hertford will be back in possession on that far side as Connor Clark comes across the halfway line, finds Sendage down that right-hand side. Clark continues the overlap. Sendage turns inside, brings in Pepash, who plays the ball to the edge of the area, gets the ball back again. Assey will let it drift under his foot, but Wilson Burnell will stop it going out. Burnell has his legs taken from under him by Billy Hayes, and Hertford will have themselves a free kick. 10 minutes remaining plus whatever the referee decides he's going to add on. Most of it of that strange effort that was occurring with a Hadley fan behind the goal. Assey will take the free kick. Hertford Town a lead here, 3-1. Horrocks and Assey's kick going for the far post, steaming in with Sendage, and in the end had to be turned behind for a corner by Joseph Jezvik. And so Hertford will have a corner on that far side of the field. Brian Garzon is not in a hurry to take it, and why should they be? They lead here by 3-1. 3 fine goals have been scored by Hertford Town. Would like another one. Finally, 100% put this game to bed. Let's see what they can do from the corner. Garzon's corner to the near post. Header comes in and goes into the back of the net from Wilson Burnell. Well, we're saying they needed a fourth, and Wilson Burnell gets his second of the game. Garzon, who scored at the beginning of this half, is the provider, and that's Hertford 4, Hadley 1.
Yeah, excellent. Just what Hertford needed after Hadley had got that goal and had that little bit of momentum going earlier before the stoppage. And lovely little glancing header there. He's bent down, glanced it into the bottom corner of the goal, and it's 4-1.
So Wilson Burnell scores his second, started it all off, and has scored the fourth one as well. Hertford are about to make the final substitute of the night. It's Kalade Saladin who goes off. Never really had a chance to get into the game, the big number 9. I'm sure his chance will occur. And the substitute who's coming on, oh my word, Bedford Town 7, Ware 1. Shane Bush has scored 9 minutes from time. Wow. I think there will be repercussions from that as far as Ware are concerned. Well, games involving teams are just, goals are flying in, aren't there? Another 8 involving Ware, but 7 of them at the wrong end here. 5 of them and 4 of them at the right end. And Hertford, as the ball pushed forward, as Cardozo has come on wearing number 16. As the ball goes out of play.
I mean, you say about them goals, Pete. I mean, the goals that even we've seen, the last few weeks. We had the 5-3 Welling Garden City in the trophy, the 3-3 FA Cup game last week. Obviously, you was at the replay. I was at the game with 9 goals on Saturday. We've been treated to 5 goals here tonight. This season, I worked out the last 3 games I'd been to, there had been 23 goals. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
I put it down to a Mrs. H conspiracy, so my voice goes. A long ball forward by Ben Hurd. And, Cardozo's one of those, isn't he, who's got a point to prove here, even in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, of course he has. People have put good performances on the pitch this evening so far, and if you're coming on as a substitution, you want a bit of the action, and you want to prove a point to the boss if he is thinking about making even more, or other changes for Saturday. That you want to put yourself in the frame as well. Might
get his chance here from the far post if Sendage can pick him out, but he can't keep the ball in play. He was all alone. Lember had left him and would have been in for a good opportunity, but wasn't. So Ware, if you're a Ware fan and listening, then you can come out from behind the sofa at some point, but not quite yet, I would suggest. 7-1. I've got to say, Steve King's going to be in the record books. Last time that they conceded that number of goals. Up in the air goes Gilzine. There's Joe Bennett. Bennett near side for Assey. Assey down the line for Burnell. That was a lovely little back heel, but was well read in the end by Banfield. But Hadley in possession. Cross from Lember's a poor one. And Luke Millett will come out and collect it very comfortably indeed. Connor Clark, far side of the field, turns inside to Pepad. He really has put in the shift, the number 8. Gets the ball back again, got his reward with a goal in the first half. Plays it back to Ben Hurd. Ben back to Luke Millett. Luke's ball brings in Harry Gilzine. Gilzine back for Joe Bennett. Joe Bennett back for Luke Millett. Millett takes the extra touch away from Jordan Edwards. But it's going to be Isaac in control for Hadley. Ball push forward is Edwards. Here's Isaac Stones. And good save by Luke Hewitt coming out to the edge of his 6-yard box. You always say about goalkeepers, make yourself big. Luke Hewitt's big anyway, but certainly managed to do it there in front of Hadley's top scorer. Joe Bennett, nice ball forward for Burnell. Gets it back. Bennett forward again, fouled surely on the halfway line with the challenge that came in, but referee not interested. Hadley will come back in the opposite direction, and that's a lovely tackle by Harry Gilzine, and the ball will break to Wilson Burnell. Sendage on the far side, and Cardoza's pulled over to that right-hand side, screaming for it. He can motor and manage to catch the ball in. Sendage behind him, Gardon's going into the box. Sendage plays the ball, edge of the box for Wilson Barnell. First touch, onto the right foot. He's on the hat-trick and just over the top of the crossbar. And I think you could see hat-trick in Wilson Barnell's eyes there.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell he was looking to create that little gap and give himself an effort on goal. And I mean, I'm really liking what we're seeing from Hertford tonight. I mean, we've said times before. I mentioned it earlier that sometimes they just knock it about too much while they're looking to create that chance on goal. But I think they've had a great amount of chances so far, a great amount of shots on goal. And I think this is much improved from performances we've seen before.
Oh, here they go again. Wilson Burnell's been the architect behind so much of it down the left-hand side. Here's Joe Bennett onto the left foot. Cross though too close for Charlie Taylor. He comes out and collects it, bowls it out to Billy Hayes midway inside his own half. But no doubt this young Hertford team could be a threat. We can consider as well. No Billy Mardell-Smith this evening as well. So plenty in reserve for them. There's Jordan Edwards for Hadley, and Luke Mewitt will catch those all day. Comes out to the edge of his 6-yard box, collects it and goes down. The referee starts to look at his watch, but surely he's got 4 or 5 to add on after we had all that with Hadley fans who have still behind that goal. They've separated a bit, whether that was what it was all about. Long kick forward. Charlie Taylor will be a lone figure as he goes out and collects that on that far side, and we will the referee, wait a minute, wants another word with somebody on that far side. Going over to have a word with the Hadley bench. Looks like Danny Plum, the assistant manager, who's getting it from the referee on this particular occasion, being forced back on the into the dugout. Hadley have got themselves a throw in far side of the field. So it'll be interesting to watch their progress for the end of the season. But you do fear for them at the moment. So they've not really been at the races here. This will be 5 without a point for the team. The Bricks. As the ball threaded out on this near side, Billy Hayes will try and keep it in play. He's got a bit to move in front. But Wilson Burnell closes some of the space down. Gilzine did well to adjust his position. Heads it down. On that far side of the field is Isaac Stones. Progress delayed by Connor Clark, gets it into the box, and Mewitt comes out, collects it very comfortably indeed before Jordan Edwards can get a hold of it for Hadley. Louis Mewitt will look back with fondness on his afternoon, or his evening rather, captaining the side. Long kick forward. Cardozo's on his bike here, and the referee has finally adjudged that he was offside. So a flag goes up. I think Simon's having a look and seeing what's going on at Welling Garden City, who are 2 goals behind, and currently have got a goal back, so 2-1.
Literally just gone in, I think.
To AFC Dunstable. It's Welling Garden City going to make a grandstand finish of the game at the Blakesworth. It will be on Saturday. They will take on Bedford Town. Which,
I mean, we spoke last week, didn't we, about them making some new signings. I did see a post a couple of days ago saying that Mark had made some new signings. So I'm not sure how many of them are starting tonight. So, but maybe we'll get to see some of them next Saturday. Yeah,
most certainly. As ball comes across, Mewitt's missed it, and it will run out on this near side for Lemba. Yeah, 3 new signings, although I think one of them was a 17-year-old who'd impressed from the youth ranks. The shot comes in, good block by Harry Gilzine. Hadley were thinking they might have a second there. Bradley Marriott's ball, long one forward, headed forward by Isaac Stones, but offside flag goes up. Yeah, that's not an enticing prospect taking on Bedford Town after what they're doing away this evening. But we will be there. It's bound to be noisy with Bedford supporters. Long kick down this side. Wilson Burnell beautifully brought down. Plays the ball back to Horrocks and Assey. Assey all the way back to Ben Hurd on the edge of the area. Ben's long diagonal ball searches out Connor Clark, and Pepash will react fastest inside the centre circle. Brings in Garzon, and there's going to be 8 minutes added on, I think that says. As forward comes Sendage on the far side. Sendage goes outside the defender and then plays the ball to Garzon inside the area. Garzon turns, still Brian Garzon, but desperate challenge, manages to get it away, but only as far as Sendage on that far side of the field. A little bit of trickery, gets the ball across the boxes. Cardoza, nobody reacted to it at all in Hadley shirt. But Cardoza's control was poor. Ben Hurd coming forward. Wilson Burnell, trying to go outside Lember, but miscued it, but still managed to get the ball back. Here's Wilson Burnell. Boxer tricks he's been tonight. A little back heel, neat ball to Pepage. Pepage will find it again. Hertford are enjoying this. Burnell's cross, up goes Cardoza, can't get to it. And eventually it's going to be Hadley will try and get it clear. That clearance will land a couple of rows in front of us in the stand here and give Hertford Town a throw in. 2 minutes of the 8 added on. It's being played here. If you're Anthony Clark, you want to start the bus already, I should think, as far as Hadley are concerned. But, it's got another 5 or 6 minutes to endure. I think that's the right word as far as Hadley are. As Sendage comes forward, another loose ball. Sendage right at the edge of the area, fires in the shot. Good save by Charlie Taylor, who did just enough to divert it away from Cardozo, who was sniffing around that 6-yard box. Hertford have got a corner though. And it's going to be Wilson Burnell who's going to take it. Bar that one goal for Hadley, it really has been all blue and white tonight. Hertford can be proud of their performance. And they've certainly kept the flag flying for us on 90 Minutes Live tonight. Referee's having another word. Another bit to be added on. I think Sendage is getting himself a little bit involved there with Kayami inside the 6-yard box. Corner's going to come in now on this near side of the field. Goes for the far post. Connor Clark's backpedaling, does well to head it into the danger area, but Hadley get it clear. Only as far as Sendage, who's back. Here's a nice one. Connor Clark's got a chance to cross it again. Does, chips it up. Up goes Cardozo. Can't get hold of it. And Hadley will just scuff it clear. Harry Guzzi will help it on its way all the way back to Luke Mewett. Mewett on that far side brings in Horrickson Assi, who finds himself in the right back position. Uncharted territory for the number 3. Gilzine, long ball on that far side forward, going to search out Sendage again. Hadley could be caught out here, the first time ball looking for Cardozo, but he'll get it back. It's Sendage and just takes it too far. One trick too many. The Hertford substitute, but every time they come forward, they're looking dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very encouraging to see, and I mean, obviously, Hadley have been poor, and that helps things when you're able to break through them that easily. But nonetheless, you can take nothing away from Hertford tonight.
Yep, you can only beat what's in front of them, and Hertford have done that very convincingly this evening. And a number of notable personal performances out there. Pepash is one of them. He's found Garzon, who's another one. Garzon still going. Burnell's there. Is Garzon going to finish it off? It's Burnell for the hat-trick, and well saved by Charlie Taylor's legs. Unselfish from Brian Garzon. And Wilson Burnell had the chance to score his hat-trick, but keeper got to it first. And on his near side is Jordan Edwards for Hadley. Balls the ball across the box. Nobody there. Goes out for a goal kick. Sums up Hadley's night. And Wilson Burnell robbed by a good save from Charlie Taylor.
Yeah. I think the thing he could have taken a little bit more time. He's just taken the shot straight away after Brian Garzon crossed it over for him, and I think he might have just had time to take a touch and try to slot it in one of the corners out of the reach of the keeper.
Well, you still want to look in his face. There's nothing about, this one's all over from this Hertford team. They want more goals.
Well, about another 3 minutes or so, I would say. So there's still a chance for him to get that hat-trick.
Well, Wilson Burnell's been outstanding tonight, but still looks disappointed. I'm sure Ben Herb will like that. His players are hungry for more. It's on that far side, send edge as well to keep it in. Connor Clark is fouled, as he know. The ball goes out for a throw-in. Harry Gilzine has got Isaac Stones there, and he's had him where he wants him for most of the game as Billy Hayes picks it up, puts the ball inside. Hayes will get it back from Banfield. Hayes turns inside onto the left foot, tries a shot, rebounds off Joe Bennett, and luckily rebounds on that far side, and the ball is put in the back of the net by Josh Banfield to make it 4-2. It was a rebound on that far side to Alfano, put it across the box, and Josh Banfield makes it 4-2. And having said Ben will be happy, he won't be happy with that.
No, he won't. And I think it's a little bit bit unfortunate, really, because he's put that ball back across the box, and he's just really, stuck a foot out to it, and it slipped behind Leekmuir. But I mean, Ben's never happy when Hertford score a goal. When Hertford concede a goal, is he? And understandably so. But just takes a little bit of the shine off that performance tonight. But as you said before, they've been fantastic. Creating plenty of chances, and it's they can take a lot out of this performance.
Yeah, most definitely. As Ben Hurd volleys it away towards the halfway line. Cardozo is absolutely full of energy out there, makes it difficult for Lemba. That's a good turn though by Billy Hayes. Plays the ball to his left hand side, chip forward. Stones would have been offside. Flag goes out on that near side to us. It's not got worse, has it? No, full time. I'll whisper it quietly for anywhere fans may be listening. Bedford 7, Wow 1. And it's all over here at the Smile IT Stadium, and smiles all round at the Smile IT, because it's finished Hertford 4, Hadley 2. Excellent performance by Hertford's young team. 4 super goals, and nothing but consolation for Hadley, who will stay rooted to the bottom of Division 1 Central. Wilson Burnell started it all off with a real worldie of a goal from the left-hand side, skying it over the top of Charlie Taylor from well over 40 yards out. 6 minutes later, it was 2-0. Pep Hedge left alone inside the 18-yard box, made no mistake, curling it into the back of the net. And then, minute after the half-time break, super move down the right-hand side, finished with Brian Garzon scoring his third goal in 3 days, and the third goal for Hertford Town. And then Wilson Burnell, 9 minutes from time, making it 4-1 with a lovely little near post nick on Garzon's corner. Hadley scored a couple of consolation goals from Alfano and Banfield, but really they're going to have a long, hard season, going to have a long, hard look at themselves. And as far as Hertford are concerned, job done. Yeah, excellent, and very encouraging. And as I was saying before, Ben will be really, really pleased with that, that performance. And the players have reacted after Saturday, which is exactly what he wanted from them. And 4-2 victory, it's fantastic, and they can all be proud of themselves tonight, and proud of that performance that they've put in. I think that's one of the best performances from Hertford that I've seen for a while. Yeah, likewise, certainly one of the best I've seen for some time. So as far as the table goes, Hertford played 10 points now. Cirencester living dangerously at times, still 0-0. So we'll just try and do the updating as we go here. If that stays at 0-0, Cirencester will have 10 points, a better goal difference than Hertford. So I make it Hertford are going to move possibly into 5th place tonight, because they're going to go above Northleigh with 10 points. Northleigh have got 9 and played 5. As far as Bedford are concerned, well, they're going to be well clear at the top of the table. 14 points from their games. 15 points from their 5 games so far. So Welwyn Garden City still waiting on to see what's happening there. Yeah, it was 2-1, still 2-1 down the last time I looked. So Hadley move on to played 5, 0 points, and sadly for them a goal difference of -7. They'll want to know how Kempston got on tonight against Kidlington, whereas Welwyn Garden City still trail by 1 in 5 minutes of time to be added on. Hertford
That
players
was-
were Connor Clark and Joe Bennett in front of us getting the applause.
Yeah, that was 3 minutes ago. So I mean, I would say there's literally then into the last 60 seconds of that game.
So Mark Weatherston will be disappointed as far as Welwyn Garden City are concerned. I have no idea what Paul Halsey will be thinking as far as we're concerned. Nice man that he is and good friend of ours. I don't want to meet him on a dog walk tomorrow, I don't think.
No. I mean, he will be absolutely distraught at that result. I mean, I'm not sure what sort of team they put up. Let me have a quick look. But I mean, no matter what that team was, I'm sure there will be reactions from that. And you know what Paul's like. He will take action on that, and he really won't be happy. But it's I mean, I don't know what happened during the game. Is it just one of them freak results or anything? But obviously, if anyone that was there would be able to judge it better. But I mean, even so, conceding 7 goals is unacceptable.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we picked the right place on our Tuesday night football on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. That right place was the Smile IT Stadium, and we've seen Hertford Town beat Hadley by 4 goals to 2, and Hertford, we think, heading into the top 5 in the table. Thanks for listening to us. We will be back on air on Saturday afternoon, and what a big test for Welwyn Garden City. Welwyn Garden City against Bedford Town, the leaders and the unbeaten leaders of the division at the Blackshurst. Will be on air as usual, live from 2:55. Watch the socials for the rest of the week for various YouTube clips and various other things which we'll be putting out online. And well, Simon, I'll leave you with the final word tonight. It's been a good night for us here.
It has, it's been a great night for us here. Not so much for our other teams, and hopefully we'll get a good reaction on Saturday from Welwyn Garden City, and it's going to be tough for them against Bedford after their result, but hope for positive things on Saturday, and we'll see you all then. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.